Hi, this is a method moment about abstraction ladders, and I think you'll find them a pretty useful tool. They're very handy for really getting consensus and some idea about just what level of the problem you're working on. So why use abstraction laddering? Well, first of all, any problem that you have has got different levels of abstraction, from very general to very specific. And designers go from abstract to concrete and back again in order to solve a problem, just by trying out different ways of looking at it. What abstraction ladders do is they help us then make conscious choices about how we're actually addressing a problem. And, are we addressing it at a very fundamental level, or are we just addressing something very tactically? What they do too is they force us, like so many design methods, to reflect on what the problem is before we actually rush in to solve it. And it's very important to do that. Spend most of your time actually figuring out just what the problem is and for whom it's a problem. And they help us then consider new and different perspectives, new directions that other people mightn't have thought of. So if you look at this example on the right, if we're trying to design a city car of some kind, you might ask, in one direction, you might ask very fundamental questions: is why are people actually driving a car? And so what difference does it make to their lives, for example? And if you ask questions like that, they might send you off in a very different direction from a question like, well, how might a city car, or how might existing cars be better or more suited to the city? So how does all this work then? Abstraction laddering essentially works by, first of all, identifying a problem statement or a challenge statement, if you like, which is phrased as "how might we?" So you put that in the middle here, your initial challenge statement, and then what you do is you would broaden out the problem by asking why, and then narrow more, focus the problem more by asking how. So you make a laddering worksheet with the rungs as blank spaces, write that initial "how might we" statement on the middle rung, and then you go up and down. You move up the ladder by asking why, consider broader options, and you move down the ladder by asking how. So you consider narrower options, and then you discuss that with your team to decide on what is the best option for ideation. So let's take a look at that on the Miro board so that you can get a sense of how this works. So we've put up a template of abstraction laddering in Miro for you. Now you can copy this and put it anywhere on your board and put as many post-its as you like on it, so you're not restricted to what we have here. And so I'd encourage you to be expansive as you start to think about this. So that's what the basic thing looks like. And so you've got your initial challenge statement here at the beginning, and then you go up by asking why, you go down by asking how. I've actually put this car example on an abstraction ladder for you, just to give you a sense of what this looks like. So our initial problem statement would be, how might we design a new city car? Well, if we're going to go up the ladder, we're going to think about, why and how do people use cars or drive cars? Well, one is our city cars in particular. One is to save money. And if you were doing that, then you might go further up and say, okay, well, our problem statement might be, how might we cut commuting costs? Or they would drive a city car as a way of getting to work. Well, you could start to consider broader options. How might we make a living without a city car, right? Or without a car of any kind? Or to impress my spouse, I want a car that will make me look important. And so then, how might we impress user spouses? In what way can we design a car for that? So those are, and for each one of these, to save money, these directions, you can have several different attacks to the problem. So you can sort of go several levels with this. Or if you go down the ladder and start asking how, so then well, if I was designing a city car, I might want to make it easier to park, or users might want it to be easier to park. Or I might want it to make traffic jams less boring, because you spend so much of your time in traffic jams. Or I might want to use my car to make extra cash. So that then, with making it easier to park, I might design a smaller car. Or we might, another one there might be, how might we design a car with sensors so you don't bump into people when you're parking. Or here, make traffic jams less boring. How might we design in-car entertainment? or making extra cash? How might we design a car for giving lifts to people? So all of those different directions, again, you can have several different types of problem statements. And the idea here is to have a range of problem statements from high to low that will give you a sense of, okay, what is the appropriate level at which we're going to attack this problem, given the time we have, given the resources that we have, and given how much we really want to stretch things and be innovative.